Good evening, everyone. I'm Pritosh Thomas, the outreach team member here, and this session is brought to you by our title sponsor, Arcana. So, without further ado, let me introduce our speaker, Mr. Jobin Ayathil. He's a blockchain developer evangelist at Arcana. He's an energetic, restless youth trying to fuse all the bits and bytes to create something new. He's passionate about Web3, graphic designing, machine learning, and a lot more. We truly cannot wait to hear what you have to tell us today, sir. So over to you.
Thanks, Pritosh, for that introduction. I know where you got that introduction from, actually. That's a bit old. Give me a second. I guess there's an issue with my cam. Yeah, I hope that this works now. I'm good. I'm visible. Yeah, thanks, Pritosh, for that introduction. And a quick intro about me. I'm a blockchain developer evangelist, like Pritosh said, working at Arcana Network. I'm a guy who loves evangelizing people about Web3 and blockchain stuff and helping you get started with your Web3 career. And we at Arcana Networks, what we are and what we are doing, I want to give you a quick intro about that. We at Arcana Network provide you with the solution for storage and authentication. If you're building on Ethereum, we have that privacy and data stack. So if you are planning to build something on blockchain, then make sure that you try out us for the storage and authentication part. And at the end of the session, I'll be guiding you through how we can integrate our solutions. But before that, I'll be taking you through a couple of slides and a couple of information, how you can break actually into blockchain, clear your basic concepts regarding blockchain, what is decentralization, what is Web3. That is what I'm going to cover today. And if you do have any doubts, then please do make sure you ask the doubts in the chat section. Before moving on, I'm going to cover blockchain basics and app smart contracts on all these things. But before that, if you want anything that you want me to cover, if you have any request, I'll give 10 seconds. Please do post it out in the comment section. I'm waiting for that. And until then, we are the title sponsor for this event, and big kudos to the GDSC team at VIT Bhopal for organizing this event. And we are looking forward to great projects coming out of this hackathon. And also, if you're planning to build on Arcana Network, then feel free to build. And we have also offered prize money for the folks building on Arcana Network. We're using our SDK. So make sure that you grab that, steal that money, don't miss out on the chance. And if you have any problems in integrating that or any problems in using our SDK, feel free to reach out to us. I'll give out the handles, my personal handles, and our community handles also. Yeah. So looks like there's no no comments. So looks like I'm good to move forward. Yeah. So anybody who has joined the session, thanks for joining the session. And I'll just share my slides. Yeah. So this is actually a part of our developer community initiative called as Arcana Developers Guild. So whatever the developer activity happens, such as this partnership with hackathons and helping students build dApps, write smart contracts, get started with the Web3 career, all these initiatives falls under this Arcana Developer Guild's umbrella brand. So what we basically do is, as I said, intro sessions, workshops, codes, boot camps, fellowships, hackathons, and out of the out of that, the most important thing that actually matters, getting cool swags and rewards. Yeah, for sure, we give out that for all the people who participate and engage with us. And we have a global community of students spread across major universities and colleges and high schools, learning Web3, building the next generation of decentralized applications. And this is the timeline usually whoever engages with us or participates in our activities. We have got intro sessions, code, and fellowships to happen in a complete span of 2 or 3 months. So if you are interested in any of these activities, feel free to reach out to us. And the benefits of joining in all these activities: getting to go from zero to hero in blockchain, able to work on blockchain projects, building dApps, networking with the different people in blockchain. That's one of the most important things, because you should be able to understand how people are thinking with their different perspectives when you are building a solution for certain problem out there. And the lifetime access to Arcana Arsenal, which is basically the hub for our resources, which we have built with a curated list of articles and cool websites with great games through which you can learn cryptography and building dApps, writing smart contracts, and all this stuff. And most important things, getting cool goodies for learning and being active in our community and engaging with the community. Okay, that's a quick intro about our community initiatives. So without any further ado, I'm going to move to what actually matters today. That's breaking into blockchain. Okay. Yeah, so I hope that you guys can see my screen. So if you do see things on the screen, then please do type in hype in the comment section, in the chat section on the YouTube. Please do type in hype. I just want to know how many of you are active. I want to see the response. I don't want to make this feel like a lecture. Usual lectures happening out there in your campus or in your college. I want to make this as interactive as possible. So type in hype. So as soon as I see the first hype, yeah, thanks Sidhu, thanks Bakar. Yeah, let's go. Let's ride the hype wave. Okay, so what's all this hype about? You might be hearing a lot about all these words that you see right now on the screen: Bitcoins, Ethereum, miners, folks, proof of stake, POW, Merkle's proof, gas, hyperledger, decentralization, a lot of stuff. But I've highlighted a particular word on the screen in bold yellow colors. That's called as blockchain. The reason being that all this technology, all this words that you see right now on the screen revolves around this major domain or major concept or major technology called as blockchain. So that is what I'm gonna demystify to you, what exactly blockchain is in very simple words. And I'm pretty sure, I'm very damn sure that nobody might have explained to you blockchain in such simple words, in such a layman's terms. Okay, so what exactly blockchain is? This is there is a simple definition on the screen about blockchain with a simple illustration. This is the simplest definition that I could get from the internet. Actually, this is copy pasted from the internet, but even still I had to modify it a bit to make it as simple as possible with few words and as simple sounding as possible. But still, I don't think that's the simplest thing. Okay, because I believe in the concept that if you understand something very simply, then you will be able to explain it very simply. Okay, should have a strong understanding, then you will be able to understand or make somebody understand it, the concept very simply. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you what exactly blockchain is. The definition given here is public chain of blocks containing data. If you understood, well and good. Or else I'm going to move to the next slide. I'm going to use a metaphor to explain to you what exactly blockchain is. Okay, yeah. Now you see an illustration of a train with a line written. Blockchain is like a sequential chain of coaches in a train. And yeah, it is true. It is true. Blockchain is exactly similar to a train. It looks like a train. It works like a train. You might be surprised, but actually that is how it looks and works like. And I'm very sure that nobody might have explained to you that blockchain actually looks and works like train. And I'm going to cover the similarities between a train and a blockchain. Okay, so you might see, you might be seeing on the screen an engine, a coach, a couple of other illustrations and sentence words. Okay, what are the similarities? So you might have seen a train. You might have traveled. Many of you might have traveled on like in train. Okay, what are the similarities? What are the parts in a train? There are coaches. There is engine. There is a coach number. There is a different kind of markings, and the most important people or the passengers travel in train. Okay, so what is the similarity? So a blockchain exactly looks like a train, and it is a sequence of blocks connected like coaches in a train in an order. In train, it is connected in an order like S1, S2, S3, S4. Similarly, a block is connected in order like block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. The sequence it is connected, multiple blocks are connected in an order, in a sequence. Okay, and the first block or the first coach in a train is actually not a coach where the passengers travel. It's a unique coach. That's the coach which actually pulls and drives the successive coaches or the entire train. And that is called as the first coach is actually called as the engine, which the loco pilot drives. Okay, that is called as the engine. So instead of coaches in the train, the blockchain has got blocks connected in a sequence. And instead of engines, the first block in a blockchain is called as the Genesis block, or the first block. If you're thinking what exactly Genesis means beginning. The meaning of the word Genesis, if you check out in the dictionary, it's called as beginning. So that is the beginning of the first block. Then, if you get a ticket to travel on train, you will see that there is a marking in the ticket, which actually is your seat number and your coach number. So they can easily identify your place in the train, and you can sit in that and travel in the train. Okay. So for the easy identification of each and every coach has got its own coach number. Okay. Similarly, for you to identify where your data is lying in each and every block in a blockchain, you want to easily identify the blocks. And so for that, you use something called as hash of the block. It's exactly like the coach number of a coach in a train. If S1, S2, you have got something for each and every block. It's exactly also like your roll number. If you have a roll number in VIT, it might be probably like VIT 2018 batch 2000. It might be like VIT 2018 CSE roll number 1. Okay, so it's a sequence, or it's a combination of strings and letters and numbers, or letters and integers. Okay, similar to that, the hash also is a combination of letters and numbers, or letters and integers, or characters and integers. Okay. So it's like your roll number. So that anybody can easily identify you. Similarly, for anybody to identify a block and find the data that's been stored in that block, you have got hash of the block. Okay. Then what you have got, then there is previous coach number that you might know while you're traveling inside a train. If you see between the connection, like the place where the coaches are getting connected, at that part, on the top, there will be marking that this current coach that you're standing in is S2, the previous coach is S1, and the next coach is S3. This is to permit that to allow you to travel between these coaches while you are traveling, while the train is in transit. You can get outside the train and check which coach is which, and you can move between these coaches. So while you're traveling inside the train, if you want to move between the coaches, uh, without you getting confused, you need to see the markings and you have to move accordingly. Similarly, while you are in a blockchain, inside a block, if you want to move between the blocks and to show that there is a continuity between all the sequence of blocks, like this is the first block, this is the second block, this is the third block, every block stores the information or the identification of the previous block also. So it's like the second block will have its own roll number or its own hash or its own identification number, along with the identification number or the roll number or the hash of the previous block also. So you can check the continuity. You can easily understand this is the continuity of the second block or the first block or the third block, whatever it is. Okay, this is our block locks. You can see on the screen also. Inside the block, the first space in Genesis block is empty because there is no previous hash of the block. It's 000, and its own hash number is 1Z8F. And the third block, the third space inside the block is for the files to be stored or the data to be stored. The second block, you can see the hash of the previous block is actually the hash of the Genesis block, 1Z8F. And the hash of the current block is 6BQ1. Okay, this is how the structure of a block looks. And the most important thing, why do we have trains? We want people to travel from one place to the another place. That is why to facilitate transportation, we have got train. Okay, and instead of passengers in blockchain, we have data. That data is transmitted from one place to another place in the internet. So like you're sitting here in Mumbai or Delhi or Bhopal, you save your data in blockchain, and somebody who wants to access it sitting from Africa, so blockchain can facilitate that. Okay, so easy access of data, moving data from one place to another place on internet is possible through blockchain. Okay, so instead of passengers in train, you've got data in blockchain. So that is what the similarity between a blockchain and a train is. So I hope that's I've cleared the basics or a simple understand. I've given you a simple understanding of how blockchain looks like, and now I'm going to cover how blockchain works like. Okay, so if that's clear, let's see train in the chat section. Train. I'll wait for 5 seconds. As soon as I see the first train, I'll what do you call, depart from the station. I'll move to the next slide. And if you have any doubts, if any part is not clear until this slide, then please make sure that you ask in the comment section. Awesome. Thanks, Pranav. Thanks, Prakhar. Okay. Yeah. So moving to the next slide. So as you know, in back in 1980s and 1970s or 1990s, when train came into India, actually the number of coaches that the train had was very less, very few. Why? The reason being that there was very less demand. Only few people had to travel in train. But as the demand increased, more and more people had to travel in train. People, the manufacturers of the train or the companies behind this train, the government had to add more coaches. If it was just 10 coaches, then they had to create a new coach, manufacture a new coach, and add a 11th coach, 12th coach to facilitate more people, uh, helping them in transportation. Okay. Similarly, the demand to store data and use and access data and share data keeps on increasing on internet. So if you want more data to be added, you need more blocks. So based on the demand, new blocks have to be created in blockchain. Okay, and it has to be added. So the process of creating new blocks is exactly like creating a new coach in a training factory. How many of you know that where in India is the coaches manufactured? If you know, then please do put it out in the chat section. I want to see how many of you are aware, how many of you have some general knowledge about trains, because I believe that many of you might have traveled in train. I want to see how many of you are good in terms of observation, because the markings of where it has been manufactured is actually given on the trains, outside the trains. I think so that It looks like nobody knows where trains have been manufactured in India. It actually is manufactured in by the ICF, or the Indian Coach Factory, or Integral Coach Factory, back in Chennai, Erode. Then there is one in the Chittaranjan locomotive industry. The most common one is the ICF back in Erode and Chennai. Okay, that's where it has been manufactured. So what basically is involved in the manufacturing? So there is a particular layout or a structure that you have to follow while you're manufacturing. You can't randomly make a coach where somewhere and the windows are there, or seats might be there or not. There are washrooms. There is a proper berth. Everything has a proper structure and a layout. Okay, so you have to the manufacturer or the ICF has to follow this standard, and they have to develop or create this coaches accordingly. Okay, similarly, the blocks have got a proper structure and the layout. Like what? It has to have the previous hash of the block, its own hash of the block, and another thing, it has to have a space to store this data. And one of the most important thing is that when the coaches are manufactured to be added into a train, it is not manufactured with the passengers. It doesn't come ready-made with what you call passengers. Passengers travel when the coaches have been added into the train. Okay, but when it comes to blockchain, when the block is been created along with the data. Okay, while the process during the process of manufacturing itself, data has been added into the block and it's been sealed. It's like the passengers are made, the data has been made to sit in the seat inside the coach. The doors are locked and it's been sealed, so the data can't get outside what you call the train coaches. Now it's completely safe and secure. So whenever anybody wants to access the data, they can open the window and have a look, have a peek. They can fetch the data, they can see the data. Okay, that is how it looks like. That is one of the most important features of blockchain, that is immutability. Once you put the data inside the block, it's locked inside that. That's permanently locked there. That is called as immutability. The ability or the inability to change the data. It's permanent there. Okay, so you can just open the window and see what the data is inside that. So consider that if you store a video inside a block, and you manufactured a new block and you added that video into the block, people can't open the door and get inside and remove the video or change that video. They can't manipulate it. They can just open the window and have a look or watch the video. That is called as immutability. Okay, the inability to change the content or the data. The data is permanent there. Okay, so that is what one of the specialities of blockchain. Okay, so blockchain is exactly created like a train coach been manufactured in the ICF with the proper structure and layout. Okay, and behind this manufacturing of coach, there is some sort of mechanical work being involved. Okay, people work there, and they also are being paid for manufacturing this coach. Okay, like probably a million or two for creating or manufacturing these coaches. Okay, they get that money. Government pays them that money. Okay, similarly, when you create following all this layout structure and create a block and add a data into that, and you create and add this block into the blockchain, consider there were 10 blocks, you add a 11th block by creating and following all the structure and layout, there is some sort of work being involved. But instead of mechanical work, like the coaches, here computational work is involved. That means that your computer works for you. The computer uses its CPU and GPU to solve and utilize its power to create a block, add data, and calculate all these hashes and create a block and add it to the blockchain. Okay, so because your computer is uh, spending its computational resources, you are spending your electricity. What happens is, similar to the government paying them for creating manufacturing the coaches, you also are being rewarded with certain amount of money. Okay, that is what actually is Bitcoin. Now I believe I have demystified the concept how you get bitcoins. So when you consider there was 10 blocks in a Bitcoin network. If you mine a 11th block in the Bitcoin blockchain network, if you have successfully mined, added the data and added that block into the blockchain network, you will get a reward, a one Bitcoin, or whatever the amount is. You will get that as a reward because you have worked hard. Your computer has worked hard in adding this block into the blockchain or creating this block, and you have also burned your electricity. Okay, so you have to get paid for that. That is how you get rewards. Okay. Yeah, so next, this is how a block has been created. And instead of manufacturing, this is called as mining. Okay, that is this commonly heard word when it comes to Bitcoin mining. This is what mining means: creating a block with the added data with hash of its own block, hash of the previous block, and pushing that into the blockchain network. Okay, that is called as mining. Next, see, when it comes to manufacturing coaches out there in the ICF, only this ICF or some registered manufacturing companies can create this coaches and add that to the train. Okay, so you can be very sure that you will get quality coaches. You don't have to fear that it will get derailed or it will collapse or you will fall from your birds or seats or your hanging birds will fall down. You don't have to fear that. Okay, you can be assured, you can have assurity of that. But when it comes to blockchain, anybody out there in the internet who's a part of this network, who is part of this community, if they have enough computational resources, they have a computer, they have a laptop, they have proper internet, they can create a block, they can mine a block. Okay, so it's like anybody can create a block with malicious data, with malware, with a virus, with unwanted data, with data that can harm people, with data, with a block, with a data containing that can mess up with the blockchain network, anything. It's completely possible. Okay, so what you have to do is you need to have a system to keep that in check, and that system is called as consensus. And still, I want to make it more simple. There's a definition given on the screen, but I still don't want to explain that. I want to say, consider that your folks at VIT Bhopal are planning to go for a trip to Shimla or Goa. Okay, there are two options. So consider the entire class is in an argument that you want to go to Shimla or Goa. So what you guys will do? You'll do voting or election or pick a lot, or you will do some sort of that sort of what do you call poll sort of thing. Okay, so that you can come to a common agreement. So this, if majority of the people, consider 100 students are there in the class, if 51 people or more than 51 people come to a common agreement, come to a common understanding, yes, हमको Goa जाना है, you want to go to Goa, then what? We'll go to Goa. That is our decision. So that is what exactly consensus is. You people coming to a common agreement after looking at a block or after looking at the data inside the block, whether the data or the block is good or not, whether it has a virus or it has a malware or whether it has something that is not actually good good for the people out there in the internet. If it has something bad, all the people on the internet will check it. They will check, and if the majority people agree that this block is good, this data inside the block is good, then they will give thumbs up. Yes, you can add that. And what is the majority? 51% is the minimum majority required. If you have more than 51%, welcome. But if you don't have 51%, sorry, we can't add that block into the blockchain. Okay. If you get a thumbs down, sorry, you can't add that block into the blockchain. This mechanism of coming to a common general agreement कि हमें शिमला जाना है कि गोवा जाना है, कि हमें blockchain के अंदर डालना है कि नहीं डालना है, whether this block is good or not for us, that is called as consensus. So there are different methods for coming to a common agreement. Okay, like ballot, election, poll, what you lot, चिट्ठी उठाना, बहुत कुछ अलग-अलग तरीके हैं. So what are the commonly used consensus mechanisms when it comes to blockchain? Okay, so before that, I see a chat section. What do you call the question? How does mining work? How does a block get mined if many people are trying to mine? So, yeah. So how mining works? Mining works on the basis of consensus. It's like when it comes to Bitcoin, the consensus mechanism is, I'll show you the next screen. POW, POS, and DPoS. There are different mechanisms, but Bitcoin uses POW. So how it works is actually, I'll come to the consensus screen. Okay, I'll explain to you what a consensus is. Proof of work. So before you can mine and add a block into blockchain, you have to do some sort of work. It's exactly like solving a Sudoku puzzle. So if you want to tell me that you want to add a block into a blockchain, या तुम्हें शिमला जाना है, गोवा जाना है, before you can tell your opinion, you have to prove me that you are intelligent enough, you are decent enough to make opinions, give opinions. Okay, to avoid spamming. it's to avoid that anybody randomly coming and giving you opinion. No, we want to go to Shimla. We only want people who are actually involved in this process of going for a trip to Shimla or Goa, telling us कि हमें किधर जाना है, to ensure that avoid spamming. Like, when you visit a website, to avoid spamming, there is captcha. Okay, so only if you can solve this captcha, then only you can access this website. So to avoid such sort of spamming, so to avoid that everybody coming and trying to mine this block, there is some sort of jigsaw puzzle or some sort of what do you call Rubik's cube or a Sudoku. Okay, you have to solve that first, and only if you can solve that, only the person who can solve it, the first person to solve it, will get the chance to mine this block and add that block, and he will be the person, or she will be the only person who gets that reward. Okay, so it's like, if it's Prakhar, everybody in the GDSC VIT is trying to mine a block. They're running, they're trying to solve this jigsaw puzzle. If Prakhar is the first one to solve this jigsaw puzzle and comes and tells to me that I've solved it, he's the person who can add this data and add that block into the blockchain, and I will reward him. The rest of all the people who are trying, tata, bye bye, goodbye, khatam. Chalo, you don't get any rewards. Next, you will have to look at the next block. You can try out for the next block, and the speed at which you can solve these puzzles or jigsaw puzzle or Rubik's or Sudoku puzzle depends upon the power that your computer holds. That is why you see that big companies and big people buying very high powered graphics cards. The RTX 3080, 3060, GTX 1050, 1080. That is why they buy this big computational rigs or graphic rigs, because they want to be very fast at solving these puzzles. Because the puzzles are not jigsaw puzzles or Sudoku or Rubik's cubes. Actually, these are computational mathematical problems, exponential problems, very tough problems, which your computer takes time to solve. So the person with the highest computational power will be the first one to solve that puzzle, and he or she will be the first person to get the chance to add that block into the Bitcoin or by blockchain network, and will get the reward of 1 Bitcoin or whatever it is. Okay, that is how it works. And this actually is good. So what it does is that कोई भी एरा गैरा नत्थू गैरा आके ब्लॉक ऐड करके ब्लॉकचेन के अंदर नहीं डालेगा. Everybody can't add that. Only the person who is capable of mining or is serious about this and who has enough time to do that can only add this block into the blockchain. Okay, so that is why it is good to avoid spamming. Okay, where does the money come from when the miners gets rewarded? So basically, if you are part of this network, if you want to use this network, then Bitcoin is like pay and use service. So if you actually want to use the social media on this blockchain network, you'll have to actually pay for that, but a very small amount. But when the small amount gets compiled, and when somebody is adding this data and he's mining that blockchain, a block in the blockchain, this combined fees or combined money that has been got as a fees gets combined, and he gets that as a reward. Okay, so for every transaction you have to pay money, and this money goes as a reward for giving to these people who are actually adding this block into the blockchain or powering this entire blockchain network. Okay, Ayush, I want to talk about proof of history, but it's a broad concept. It's a big concept. Probably we can cover at the end of the session if we have time, because we have some other proof of concepts to cover, the basic ones. Okay, there are a lot of other concepts like what do you call POEs and different concepts. Okay, so I believe that I've covered proof of work concept. It's all about solving puzzles and getting a chance to mine the block and getting a reward for that. The problem is that rich people or big companies can buy huge computational resources, can buy big GTX rigs and graphics cards, and they can mine all these blocks and get the rewards. So rich will get richer, and they will be the ones who will be controlling this entire blockchain network. And actually, you're burning out a lot of electricity, because the complexity of these puzzles that you have to solve keeps on increasing to avoid spamming. Okay, it keeps on increasing day by day. Okay, it takes now it might be taking 10 minutes. A year later it will take 20 minutes. So the electricity consumption also keeps on increasing. So actually it's not good for the nature, and actually not good also for the community and the entire internet users, because the tech giants or the big rich people will be controlling this network. So to avoid this, we wanted to avoid or remove the dependency on the computer. Okay. Or the computational resources. We want to avoid the dependency on used graphics cards. So that is when we came up with a new concept or new consensus system called as proof of stake. And it is very simple. If you want to mine a block, you just have to buy a lottery ticket or put a safety deposit or a security deposit. Go out there, buy one Bitcoin. I'm just giving an example of one Bitcoin or a one cryptocurrency. Buy that one cryptocurrency, keep it as a safety deposit in the security deposit in the blockchain network, and the blockchain network will pick out randomly a guy, like it's like a lottery or a raffle. Okay, it will pick out a random guy who will get a chance to what do you call, be the person who can mine the block or add the block into the blockchain network. Okay, so this, what it will ensure is that when the person gets selected to mine or create a block and add into the blockchain network, if he adds a wrong block, the network will penalize him. The network will deduct his security deposit. He will get zero money. He will get nothing back. But if he adds a right block into the blockchain, right data into the blockchain, what he will get? He will get his safety deposit or security deposit also back with an additional reward also. So if he deposits one Bitcoin, if he does the good activity of does a good task, then he will get that one Bitcoin along with the additional one Bitcoin as a reward. Okay, so it sort of keeps the network in a positive sentiment. Okay, and because we have kept one Bitcoin or one cryptocurrency as the minimum requirement to mine or create a blockchain, can avoid spamming. Or it's like anybody with a computer, they can come and make bots, and the bots might spam the network. Now that actually only you require a small amount, but actually require some sort of money, nobody can spam it. Okay, so that is how it works. Proof of stake. You have to stake your money. You have to put your money as a safety or a security deposit. If you do that, then you can add a block. And why it is better here? Your what do you call it? It doesn't depend upon your computational resources. You don't have to solve any jigsaw puzzle or a computational puzzle. So there is better energy efficiency, and it is very fast. Bitcoin might take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but because it's on proof of stake, this network will create blocks in milliseconds or seconds. Okay, lower barriers to entry. Earlier, it was like only rich people who can afford big GTX rigs can enter this network. Now, anybody who can buy a cryptocurrency can easily get into the network. Okay, stronger immunity to centralization. Now you can't centralize the network. Only rich people can't get. It's not like that. Only rich people can get access to the network. Anybody, okay, here's an internet. A small amount of money can be a part of this network. So it's like our internet for the people, by the people, to the people. Okay, and strong support for shard chains. Shard chains is a good concept, a very new concept. Shards means creating a pieces of blockchain network. I'll explain shard chains at the end of the session if you have time. But if you do have time, please do check a new blockchain network that has came recently called as Shardium. It's actually is based on the concept of shard chains. Okay, that is gonna make our blockchain more better, more efficient, and more beautiful. Okay, more user friendly. Yeah. Then next, so proof of stake. The thing was that you have to deposit your money and you have to go there out and be the lucky guy and what you call do the mining, do the creation of block and adding that data into the blockchain and adding that to the blockchain network. But everybody doesn't have the enough. Everybody doesn't have enough time to, might have money, but everybody doesn't have enough time to do this validation or mining or adding this block. Okay, and doing the good things. So what you can do is, there are people out there who are these candidates who are the candidates who are ready for doing ready to do this validation for you. Okay, it's like you just have to what you vote for them. It's exactly like the elections that happen in India. So this concept is called as DPOS, delegated proof of stake. So you delegate somebody to mine for you, okay, or add block for you. So it's like the elections that happen in India. Because you can't go out there and do the administration and governance, somebody can become a candidate and you can, all the guys out there in the society can vote for that person. And if he gets selected, then he can do all this administration and governance for you. Okay. So similarly, in DPOs, what you have to do, earlier you were the person that who was gonna buy the cryptocurrency and put that as a safety or security deposit. to buy the lottery ticket. But now what you're gonna do is you're gonna deposit that in the person or in the name of this candidate or in the name of this person who is ready to become this validator or the miner. Okay, you will vote for him by putting this money in his name. So the person or the candidate who gets the maximum number of vote or the maximum number of amount of cryptocurrencies in his name will become the candidate who can add this block. So once that guy becomes the validator or the miner or the person who can add that block into the blockchain network, and after he adds that block, if he does it in the right way, he will get a major chunk of reward, and you will also get your safety deposit back with a small chunk of reward, a small percentage of reward. You also will be rewarded, he also will be rewarded, but he will be rewarded more because he has spent his time, he has done the actual hard work. Okay, this is delegated proof of stake. Okay, there are a lot of networks which use DPoS. One network which actually uses the proof of stake or POS is the Ethereum 2.0 network that is actually going to come very soon. The Ethereum testnet actually uses proof of stake or POS. Okay, so very simple explanation or simple example that I want to give you in terms of how you can apply blockchain is with the DPoS. Think about building or replacing the EVMs or electoral machines in India with a blockchain based DPoS system, where just people have to spend 1 rupee to put the vote. Because they are putting 1 rupee, they will be very serious. Or you can keep it as 100 rupees or 500 rupees. Okay, because they're putting money, they'll actually care before voting for the person. Okay, they will put that money in that person's name, and the person who gets the maximum amount of money will become the Prime Minister of India or the local candidate for you, MLA for you, MP for you. Okay, and because it is on blockchain, it is completely transparent, privacy, and anybody can check. No spamming, no what do you call, no corruption can happen here, no hacking can happen here. That is one of the best example that I can give you on implementation or application of blockchain. Okay, can straight away use DPoS. Just implement DPoS concept. Okay, no additional technology is required. Okay, so I've covered the basic consensus systems like POS, POW, DPoS. Let's move to the next concept. Okay, that is decentralization. This is one of the most important part of blockchain. This future internet, which is called as Web3, is actually what you call decentralized. That is why we are all running behind this hype of decentralization. And what exactly decentralization is? It is a distributed network. Now our network or internet is not actually distributed. It has been controlled by some major tech giants like Google, Facebook, Instagram, or what do you call Twitter, and all these companies. Big tech companies are controlling it. They are the ones running the servers, handling your data, powering up this network and your apps and services. So it is centralized. So what are the problems with centralization? A very good example that I can give you is the social media outage that happened a couple of months back when your WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, everything went down. It is due to the fact that it was centralized. You are depending upon a single tech giant or a single server or even a dozen of servers only. So if that server is been hacked or it goes down, a tsunami comes there, a power outage comes there, it gets infected, you are doomed. You can't put a WhatsApp status there that you are attending a breaking and blockchain session with me today. You'll be doomed. Our StreamYard session won't be possible today. Our YouTube session won't be possible today. It would go down. That is the problem of centralization. Another problem is that Cambridge Analytica issue that happened a couple of years back, where Facebook was stealing your data and selling it for millions. Okay, that is a problem because the entire data is traveling through the servers of Facebook. They can steal your data. They can sell your data. Your data is the most important, most valuable thing right now in this era of internet. So they can steal it. They can sell it. Okay. So this is the problem with centralization. There is very less reliability. Anytime it can go down. There is very less security because there is a single point of failure. Yeah, a group of hackers can just focus on what you call breaking that network or breaking this apps and services by just attacking that single server. Okay, or this can just fear the tech giants that they can steal your data. So that is a problem with centralization. And that's where this concept of decentralization comes with blockchain, which is a redeemer, which is a savior for us. Why? Because decentralization works in a peer-to-peer manner. We the people of internet, we the users of the internet will be powering this internet. Anybody who has a computer, anybody who has a mobile can power this network, this apps and services. So it's like the future Instagram and future social media will be powered by us. So like the millions of people around this globe will be powering it using their mobile resources, their computer resources, and their internet. So what is the good thing about this? Zero downtime. You don't have to fear. It's like, even if it's not like Facebook or the tech giants. If one employee gets sick, or if he has a quarrel with his boss, and if he doesn't come, he unplugs the server, it will go down. But when it comes to decentralization, because all these millions of people are powering, even if 10,000 users don't come today online, still the rest of the 99% people are powering this internet. So it will keep on running. Your Instagram, your WhatsApp, your Facebook will keep on running. So that is the reliability aspect of decentralization. And security. You'll be asking how it is secure. Earlier, you just had to fear this tech giant stealing your data, or just Facebook stealing your data. Now your data is with everybody around this, around us in this world. Everybody. Okay. No, actually, it is not. Your data actually is with everybody, so it is more reliable. So it's like, even if a guy disagrees to give you data, you don't have to fear millions of other people are having a copy of your data. So he goes offline. Don't worry, your data is here. You can ask other millions of people to give out your data. You can fetch data from their mobiles or their computers. Okay, you can do that. But you will think that because all these people are having your data, they can steal your data. They can't steal your data, because it is sort of, your data has been kept in a briefcase and it has been locked with your password or your key or your pin, and it has been handed. The copies of briefcase is made and been handed over to millions of people out there in internet. See, everybody has your data, but it's inside the briefcase. So only the person who has the key to the briefcase and can access it. Okay. And what in terms of the key, the security, this briefcase with your data has been secured with top-notch security in terms of cryptography, that is SHA-256 or SHA-256. That is secure hashing algorithm 256. It is sort of a military level cryptographic algorithm. So it's like, if you try to break that, your grandchildren will still be trying, and they will not be able to break that. It will take you hundreds of years to break that security. That how secure it is. So you don't have to fear that your data, even in spite of being with millions of people and easily accessible, if even some of them go offline, nobody can steal your data. Okay. So it brings reliability aspect as well as security aspect. And you don't have to trust that Facebook is keeping it secure or Google is keeping it secure. The person is having the password or the pin to the briefcase, only you can access it. Okay, so it's completely secure. That is a good thing about decentralization. Reliability, security, all these things. Okay, so even if something goes wrong, all the people out there in the internet can check and see that something is going wrong, so we should take it down. So we are the people who are controlling the network. It's not Facebook or Twitter. Like, if Trump decides to post something, then Twitter plans to kick him out, ban him. That's not possible in a decentralized future network or a future social media. Okay. Then next, smart contracts. So Bitcoin had very good things to say, like reliability, security, decentralization, a lot of good things, transparency on all these things. Okay. It's very transparent. So if you are doing any sort of transaction with Bitcoin, anybody can go and check this transaction is happening. Okay. So you can't fool anybody. So if you have just 100 rupees in balance, you can't spend more than 100. So you don't have to fear that any situations like Nirav Modi or Vijay Mallya and Harshad Mehta scamming SBI can't happen. So if your money is with a blockchain powered bank out there in the internet, you can be very sure that where the money is going and where the money is coming from and all these things. Okay. Only you can check the transactions. The transactions are completely transparent. At the same time, there is privacy also. the account can be kept private. You don't have from where to where it is going, you can check, but the identity of the person behind these accounts, you can keep that very secure. So there is also privacy. Okay, so you had to bring this good things from Bitcoin and bring that to solve better problems and give better solutions. So that is when this concept of smart contracts arrived, where Ethereum brought the smart contracts concept, where programmable logical thinking or programmability was brought into blockchain with the features of Bitcoin using smart contracts. Now you could leverage all these advantages with the added ability of programmability. Now you can program anything. Programming is a magical wand. You can build anything. It's all up to your creativity. Okay. So, what do you call? Smart contracts brought that into play. Smart contracts is nothing but smart contracts are simply written in a language called as Solidity. Solidity is the most common language. There are other languages like Viper also, but the most common one is Solidity. So right now you can see on the screen that a couple of lines. This is what a smart contract looks like. And smart contract is nothing but a program which takes an input and gives you output. Nothing else. Okay, nothing too complicated. It's like if you want to build an Amazon Prime using blockchain, then you will write a smart contract that you pay 20 Bitcoin and you can download an Amazon Prime series or a movie. Okay, take input, give output. That is basically a smart contract. So what a smart contract allows is to avoid middlemen, to avoid intervention of this big tech giants to approve your transactions or approve your whatever you want to do on the internet. It will check if the input criteria is met, then it will give you the output. You pay 20 rupees, you will get. It's exactly like Coke vending machine. There is no shopkeeper involved in it. Like you give 20 rupees, shopkeeper can decide whether he wants to give it or not. Then you can decide whether you want to catch his collar or not. But when it comes to vending machines, you don't have to fear that. If you are interested in getting a Coke, pay 20 rupees, get it dispensed, drink it, be happy. Okay, Coke Pilo. So that is the good thing about smart contracts with added reliability, security, transparency, privacy, also automation. Give input, get output. As simple as that. Okay. So the language that has been used to write smart contracts is Solidity. And before I want to just share one thing. If you are attending this session and I request you take a screenshot of any of the slide that and share a feedback, tagging me on Twitter and tagging Arcana Network on Twitter. And the best and genuine feedbacks will make sure that we ship out some swags to you. Okay. And I have a couple of more surprises for the people who wait until the end. Best for the last. Okay. Yeah. So next slide. So what are the dApps? So smart contracts were nothing but basically programs. Okay. So the people who don't actually understand programming language will not be able to use all this blockchain, Bitcoin, and everything. Like your dad, your mom, my dad, and my mom, our grandparents, they will not be able to use it, or the general audience will not be able to use it, except for developers. So what we had to do is it was like sort of a vending machine with all just the machineries and the electrical circuits. You had to add a proper refrigerator, input space, and output can space, a proper glass with racks for placing this Coke cans and bottles. You have to do that. So when you build a front-end UI and interface with this smart contract and you add a sandwich and you combine it, then it forms something called as dApps. Your normal website or Web 2 services are called as applications or apps. So whatever is built using smart contract with a front-end UI interface on a decentralized network like Ethereum or Bitcoin is called as dApps. dApps is a short form for decentralized application because it is running on a decentralized network. Okay. So that is dApps. Yeah. So give me a second. Yeah. So what are the advantages of dApps? dApps can be like Instagram, Facebook, anything you can build on dApps. Okay, on decentralized network. Because it runs on peer-to-peer network. You don't have to rely on tech giants, big servers. Advantages are zero downtime. Will go down never. The downtime is going to be 0, 100% uptime. Every time it's going to be online. better privacy. Nobody's going to steal your data. Better censorship free. You don't have to fear that Facebook or Twitter is going to take down your comments or take down your, your posts or anything, or going to get kicked out like Trump. Don't have to fear that. There is complete data integrity because it's been completely secured by you using a SHA-256 password or a key. It's completely secure. There is a complete data integrity. Okay. And the behavior is verifiable because all the transactions happening on the blockchain network is transparent. Anybody can verify it. If you have only 100 rupees balance in your blockchain account, you can only spend 100. If you try to spend more than that, people can go out and check there on the internet. There is a website called as Etherscan, which shows you all the transactions listed out that's been happening in a blockchain network. So if you are trying to do a fraudulent transaction, people can check out there. So I'm sorry, no Nirav Modi, no Vijay Mallya, no Harshad Mehta on blockchain and Bitcoin. Okay, that's about dApps. So smart contract combined with dApps is powering the next generation of apps and services and solutions called as Web3, the third generation of internet, or Web 3.0. Okay, Web 1.0 was the usual traditional desktop-based internet, desktop-based computing era. Web 2.0 was the social media e-commerce era. Okay, the mobile-driven, mobile-first, social media, cloud-driven technology was a Web 2.0. Web 3.0 is more smart, more automated future with less middlemen and less tech giant intervention. It is powered by technologies, bleeding edge technologies like edge computing, decentralization, AI, blockchain, AR, VR, metaverse. Okay, all these concepts. This is Web3. This is the future, and the future is here. We are entering Web3, so make sure you are part of this network or part of this future era. Okay, don't be left out. Don't be don't stick to Web 2.0 because the future is more vibrant. Internet for you, for the people, by the people, into the people. We are the ones who are going to own this internet. We are the ones who are going to control it. We are the ones who are going to pay and earn from it. Okay. And the modern Web3 internet is what I call it is OTP, open, trustless, and permissionless. What is open? It's completely transparent. You can't do any sort of fraud. Okay. It is trustless. Trustless means इसी पे भरोसा नहीं करना है. You don't have to wait for somebody to like you don't have to trust somebody like Facebook or Google that they are not stealing your data, they are keeping it all secure. You don't have to trust anybody. If you trust yourself and you don't share your password and PIN with anybody, your briefcase containing all your data out there in the internet is completely safe. Nobody can hack that. Okay, or steal it. And it is completely permissionless. So when you push out something on the YouTube reviews it, YouTube checks it, and then only it allows you to gives the permission to publish it out there on the YouTube platform. So you have to get the permission from YouTube. But if you build a YouTube dApp or a video platform based on this decentralized blockchain network, you don't have to get permission from anybody. You post there, you post it out, people can start watching the videos. It's completely permissionless. Why? Because it can be made using smart contracts. Okay, smart contracts, it can be given certain criteria like it should not have bad, obscene things, it should not break community rules, it should not have wrong, bad things that is not safe, all these things. Okay, you can keep that criteria in the smart contract. You will give it as an input, it gets an input, as output the video gets uploaded to the platform. You can automate it. So no engineer or no person, no employee sits there and checks it for you, or no machine learning AI made to work for the Facebook or Google sits there and checks it. Okay, you don't have to fear that. Smart contract will monitor, and if all the criteria for the input matches, it will give the output and it will get published. Okay, completely automated, permissionless, trustless, and open future. That is what Web3 is. Okay, and if you sometimes you are going to come across a word called as web3.js. Don't get confused between web3 and web3.js. Web3 is this era. Web3.js is a JavaScript library used in blockchain development. Okay, to integrate your front end with the back end blockchain. That is Web3.js. Bridging. Okay, that is where this library is used. Next, Ethereum. I told you the smart contract concept was brought to you by Ethereum. First one was Bitcoin, which brought all these good things of blockchain, but programmability was not there. So Ethereum, along with the proof of work consensus, brought this smart contract concept. So you could write programs, start building applications, building websites, building decentralized finance, NFTs, anything you wish was possible through Ethereum. So Ethereum also has like Bitcoin, Ethereum also has its own currency called as ETH. Okay. So if you are trying to do any sort of transaction, or if you are waiting for rewards, then you will get that in ETH format. Okay. Yeah. So next. So coming to, we are approaching the ending, but I have a couple of surprises also. Okay. So what are the applications? So I've listed out the 5 major verticals in terms of applications where you can implement blockchain. If you start seeing in the implementation, you will be surprised. We have a very bright future in terms of our human society or our internet. Okay. Consider you implement blockchain in supply chain. Very simple explanation, implementation example I want to give you is refunds or returns. Now, when you get a wrong product being delivered, you have to return it. This goes back to the warehouse. That person checks there. If it is the right thing, then you will get your refund after in like 5 to 7 working days. But consider you receive a wrong product. There is a smart contract out there for the e-commerce or Flipkart or Amazon. You capture a photo of it, you capture a video of it, or unboxing video, you share that to the smart contract. The smart contract will check whether it is right or wrong and will match with the order. If you have received a wrong product, instantly it will give an output and it will initiate the refund within milliseconds. The refund will reach your account. Okay. And somebody will arrive at your doorsteps and will get the product at a later time. So you don't have to wait for 5 to 7 business days or working days to get your refunds. So that is one of the best example of implementation in the supply chain. Finance. I told you, no Nirav Modi, no Vijay Mallya, no Varshad Mehta. Now you're trusting these banks, and these banks are stealing your money also actually. Because when you deposit this money, they are stealing by taking your convenience fees, and a lot of other fees is involved. And this big people are taking your money and running from this country. So if you think you build a bank based on this blockchain, there is no middleman, no employees, nobody is involved. Somebody out there has a lot of money. He is ready to lend it. You want money, you will go out there in the market, you will ask for it. He will tell you, he will quote an interest rate, a decent interest rate, no convenience fee, no middleman fee, no transaction fee, nothing. He will tell you, are you good with the interest rate? If so, he will write a contract. He will give you the money. You will receive the money, and he will you will slowly repay it. Okay, so that is called as that technology is called as decentralized finance or DeFi. So that is the future of banking, and actually there are a lot of solutions out there in the market which is actually providing you money, helping you borrow money or lend money at far better interest rates than what banks provide you. Okay, like Aave is one example. Okay, so yeah, I see a poll running out there in the section which application sector are you most excited about. I don't see another option which actually should be there. That is government or governance or administration. That is one of the most important aspect, I believe. That is where the implementation has to happen. Because once that happens, we'll have a corrupt-free governance and administration out there in the society. Okay. Other is healthcare. All your healthcare data that big companies are they're stealing and they're selling it to pharmaceutical companies for research without your permission. Okay, so you can change that. When you agree to share that, then only you can share that data if you build it on blockchain. Retail, I told you, refunds and better orders tracking and all these things. Government, one best example I gave you in the beginning, that was DPOS, building an election system based on blockchain. Or if you want passport, if you want visa, if you want ration card, voter ID, anything, you have to visit hundreds of different places, pay 100 people bribe. That's what happening here in our society. So if you think you build a governance system out there with smart contract for your birth certificate, death certificate, passport, Aadhaar card, if you give the input, and if all the inputs and documents matches, all the criteria matches, instantly you will get an output as a PDF document. It will generate it. And because it's in blockchain, you can easily verify also that no fraudulent is possible, no forging of documents is possible. Okay, that's how the beauty of blockchain is if it's implemented in the right way. Better elections, better governance, no rishwat, no bribe, no middleman, fewer government employees, and instant passport, instant documents at your disposal. Okay, you don't have to wait for months. You don't have to pay millions or thousands or hundreds of rupees to different people like from chaprazis in the government office to the big guys out there sitting there. Okay, no bribe, everything completely automated. That's the good thing about implementing blockchain. Okay, these are some of the commonly used applications, and actually that's all, folks, for this slide. But I have a couple of more things to share. Okay, give me a second. Yeah. So here you go. I have shared two Twitter, what do you call uh, handles. One is mine, and the another one is, give me a second. Another one is Arcana Networks. So if you have taken a screenshot, if you have some feedbacks, share what is the best part that you loved from today's session. Take a screenshot and share that tweet. This tag me, tag Arcana Network. We'll ship out swags to you. Okay, we'll do that. I've shared that in the chat section or the comment section. Okay, and for the another thing, if you have any doubts when it comes to blockchain, if you want to build something, integrating something, if you have any doubts, feel free to reach out to me, DM me. I'll be happy to have a one-on-one chat with you. If you want to set up a one-on-one call, book a Calendly, meet with me. I'll be happy to help you out with that. So my handles are there. Handles of Arcana Network are there. We recently had an NFT airdrop at Arcana Network. We are giving out NFT wrapped tokens. So if you could get access to our cryptocurrency called as XCR. We had thousands of NFTs. So that just recently winded up. So we have more coming up. So if you're interested, please follow Arcana Network. Now I'm going to give you a quick guide through implementing Arcana Network's SDK. It's very simple. Trust me, you have never thought that it's so simple, so minimum coding that has been involved in implementing storage and authentication solution using blockchain. Okay, and make sure to implement our solution in your project in this hackathon happening at GDSC VIT, the SummerFest. Because if you build, then we have some a prize money kept separately for the builders who actually build on Arcana SDK. And if you're building a great project, then we'll give more grants also. We'll help you turn out that to be a great project. We'll give you grants, mentoring. If it's a great project, we can look at the possibilities of making it even a startup. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to guide you through quickly implementing it. Trust me, you might have not seen such an easy implementation of implementing storage and authentication with blockchain. Okay, using Arcana. Yeah. So here you go. I hope that my screen is visible. Yeah, I hope that it's visible. So the website is testnet.arcana.network. I'll share that in the comment section. Visit. Okay, visit this. We'll get access to our testnet. Click on the build adapt section. You can see what are the available functionalities that you can use. Here are the use cases. You can get support by mailing us. Okay, there is a SDK documentation. There is a reference demo tutorial app which you can use and check how the implementation has been done. Okay, so you can implement that too in your project. Get support integration by joining our Discord. There is a use 28,000 community members community. Okay, you can join that. You can ask anything. Be a part of our community activities. Be part of our cohorts, boot camps, learning initiatives, building initiatives, development initiatives. A lot of things happening. It's a very vibrant community. You can check that out. Okay. If you want to get started with our SDK, you can click here. If you have any bugs, then click here. Okay. So if you are planning to integrate our solution into your project, go here, click on the Get Started with our SDK. And when you click that, give me a second, you'll be redirected to a new page. Give me a second, I'll show that. Yeah, when you click that, you will be redirected to this new page. Okay, this is dashboard.arcana.network. You'll be welcomed here. You can use anything. We want people from the Web 2 also to Web 2 or the typical conventional internet also to transition easily to the future decentralized network. That's why we have got the typical login systems like Google, GitHub, Twitch, and Discord. I'll click on Google. It will give you a pop-up. Sign in with your Google account. Okay, I've already set up a application, so it will probably show me this thing. I'll just delete this. Okay, I'll just delete this and I will show you from the beginning how it looks. Okay, when you log in, sign up with your Google, you will be visited to this page called as Getting Started. Just click on Configure. Whatever is your app name, just type in. I'll type in SummerFest. Shout out to SummerFest by GDSEVIT. Click on Next. If you want to choose regions, you can click that, or you can click anywhere. I actually don't care about that. Doesn't matter. Click on Next. If you're building on any particular chain like Ethereum, Polygon, Binance, you can opt that, or you can leave it like that. Then, if you're planning to have a login, if you're building a social media, then you should probably have a login system. You don't have to worry about building the login system for that and keeping everything secure, or passwords, your credentials. You can use our authentication solution or authentication SDK. Just select what sort of authentication you want to implement. Google, GitHub, Reddit, or Discord, whatever you want. If you don't want, then you can leave it like that. If you want to implement that later on, you can click that later. If you want to implement Google, just click here. It will ask you to paste a client ID. Visit this website, log in with your Google ID and paste the client ID here. And that's it. Your authentication part is done. Then click Next. It will ask you to set limit for your storage and bandwidth. Right now it's unlimited. Leave it like that and click that save. So probably I believe that it barely took a second or two actually, what do you call, if I was not explaining to you, actually just it will take you just 2 or 3 seconds to set up the entire dashboard, entire backend for your storage or authentication solution if you're building a blockchain based project. Okay, and the entire thing like setting up the smart contract for you, everything, this, what do you call, our SDK will take care of that. It will handle for you. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, and the best part is that there are a lot of other alternatives which is very complicated to implement and you have to pay bucks out of your pocket. Why do that when Arcana is free? It's completely easy. You just need to make 4 toggle switches. They just toggle the 4 switches, click on save, done. Your storage and authentication solution for your blockchain project is done, and it's completely free. Okay, now you will reach your dashboard. You can completely check your stats, your analytics, and everything, like how many users are using your application, how many files has been uploaded, storage, bandwidth, your app ID, your on testnet, check everything. You can list okay. When you build the front end, whenever you want to, what do you call, integrate our storage or authentication part, you have to copy a couple of code lines. Okay, so whenever you want to do that, just scroll up. You'll see a docs section here. Click on the docs section and you'll be redirected to a new website. So actually your setup for the storage and authentication part is done. That's how simple the implementation is. Okay. Now just you have to add some lines of code. You'll be welcomed to our docs page. You can read all these docs. Can read this quick start if you want to follow all this guidelines with the screenshots. If you want to check that out, you can check that out. If you want to see a demo app, you want to check out how it has been implemented in our demo app, you can use that. And this is the part where you actually want to check out our SDK and how its implementation. If you want to implement storage SDK, just click on Arcana SDK. The drop down menu will pop up. Click on the storage SDK. Everything is given: how to upload, download, delete, share, revoke, or change the owner of the file. Installing NPM packages, what code you have to copy, uploader code, downloader code, access code, everything. Just copy paste that into your front end website and done. That simple it is. You don't have to do anything. For every action that you have to do with your file, like revoking, giving access, downloading, uploading, everything, the code is given here. Just copy paste that there and it's done. And if you want to implement authentication, click on Arcana Auth, do the npm install of this package, copy this code wherever you want, and that's it. Your authentication is done. Our Arcana SDK will take care of your credentials and everything. Okay. And if this is very pro thing, professional thing for if you're getting started, then you don't have to look this at this part. This Arcana key store. If you're planning to store something very critical, crucial, and very important, confidential things like Aadhaar card or any similar sort of things, you want to store that, then you can use our Arcana key store, which will securely store all this details. Okay, using our key store, you can store all these things like passwords or credentials or such important thing using our Arcana key store. The implementation also here is given. See, you can see it doesn't even have more than, I believe, 10 lines of code. Just npm install, import it, add a constant, initialize it, and use whatever method you want to store that keys. Okay, that's simple it is. And if you want to see the user flows, you want to understand the basics or the concepts, you're a geeky guy, then feel free to check that out. Or else, the only thing matters to you is the Arcana SDKs, storage, and Arcana authentication part. Just follow this and implement. And I know as a developer, you will for sure face difficulties, you will face barriers and bugs while implementing a lot of things. You might face that. Feel free to reach out to us, personally through Twitter, LinkedIn, or anything. Reach out to our Twitter handles, or you can join our Discord. I'll quickly share our Discord community. We usually have a lot of activities like codes, boot camps, and NFT airdrops, tokens, token airdrops, and a lot happening. So you can check that out. Okay, give me a second. I'll just share that in the comment section. Okay, you can check that out. You can start implementing our Arcana SDK. I hope that I've actually demystified the concept of blockchain. I've made simple how a blockchain looks like. So next time your bhanja, bhanji, bhai ben, somebody comes and asks you, even a five-year toddler or a kid comes and asks you, "Oh yeah, blockchain kya hota hai?" Then you know what to show and how to explain. Show them a train and explain them, this is beta how a blockchain looks like and works like. Okay. And consensus ka example I've given you, Shimla, Goa, and other examples. DPO's ka example is elections that happen in India. I've given you examples of smart contracts. Smart contracts is nothing but it's exactly like a Coke vending machine. Okay. And a smart contract like vending machine with proper fridge or refrigerator with proper color, proper racks and everything, proper front end look, makes up a package called as DApp or a decentralized application. So this is a quick recap. I hope that I have covered all the basics that is required. Now I'm going to share with you a crucial and one of the most important thing for you to get started your Web3 career. If you want to learn Web3 from the basics, you don't consider you don't even understand, you have never wrote a single line of code also. If you want to get started, then I'm going to share that resources with you. Quickly, give me a second. Yeah, here you go. I will share two things with you. Heyman, for sure, show them the train. Yeah, for sure, Prakar, you can be a part of our fellowship. Reach out to me, ask me, or DM me, or reach out to us on the Discord community. If we get a bunch of students who are eager to learn and be part of this fellowship or a cohort or boot camp, and we'll for sure set up a completely flexible schedule for you to get started from the scratch, from the basics, and become a Web3 developer, and also help you out in getting a good, building a great projects, building a portfolio, or even getting a good job, or building a next future Web3 startups. Okay, we'll help you out in that. Okay, I'm going to share a link to a Twitter tweet. If you're lazy in reading a lengthy article, then check out this tweet that I wrote for Arcana Network. There's a Twitter thread where with I guess with 8 or 9 simple tweets, each and every tweet is a level for you to get started. Okay, complete set of resources and what set of concepts you have to learn. Okay, I've given I believe that I've only given the concepts in the Twitter thread, but if you want the resources for you to learn that concepts given in the Twitter thread, then there is a detailed article that I want to share with you that I've wrote for Arcana. It's a Medium article. Here you go. I've shared a Medium article, which is a roadmap for you to get started from the basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and from there, those are the stepping stones. From there, learning the cryptography basics and writing smart contracts, building dApps, and building projects, NFT marketplaces, minting your first NFT, everything. A detailed, a very crystal clear, crisp roadmap and a path is given out there in the article. Go read that, start learning, and build the next set of future decentralized applications. Change the future. It's completely with you, and I believe that out there in VIT Bhopal, you are the change makers. You guys are gonna build that. You're gonna be the catalyst in changing all those things. Okay. And if you have confusion, if you're struggling to understand anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'll have a chat with you. I can have a set up a one-on-one call with you to explain or clear your doubts, anything, whatever it might be, integrating our solutions or even the basic general development stuff. Okay. So I believe that's it for today, guys. Thanks for joining the session. I hope that I've demystified the concept of blockchain. I've made it very simple. I have just covered the high-level, basic, surface-level things for you. The pro-level things, it's given in their resources, that's given in the articles. And actually, I've added a lot of games also in this article. So you can actually play games and learn cryptography, and you can play and win NFTs and learn smart contracts and dApps. All these things with the links are given in the article roadmap that I have shared with you. Okay. So I'll appreciate, thanks for the feedbacks I see on the comment section. I'll appreciate if I get feedbacks on my Twitter handle. And because I'll be happy to send out swags to you, t-shirts, stickers, and bottles and everything, whatever I can, I'll be happy to ship that out to you on your address. So share your valuable feedback through the Twitter handles. Make sure to tag me on Arcana Network. So I hope that was a great session. Make sure to steal the prize money that we are given for the Arcana track out there in the SummerFest. Have a great hacking. Have a great day. Thanks for joining in the session, and thanks GDAC VIT for making this possible. Thanks, team. Have a good day. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you, sir, for that wonderful explanation. I personally have gained a new level of understanding from the example of the train that you used. I'm glad to say it was truly inspirational, and I'm sure that many participants are motivated towards building their project in the Web3 or blockchain track using Arcana's SDK as well. With this, we have come to the end of the session. Before wrapping up, we would like to thank our title sponsor, Arcana, for their continued support at Hack GDSC 2022, making this session possible. That is all for this session, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, sir.